we got deployed to Baghdad, Iraq in '07. We were part of a unit that hunted high-value targets. So the intel community within the military apparatus had developed a list of leadership of terrorist organizations that we were fighting over there. It had a Navy unit, and this was all top secret at the time. Now it is not. We used to track phones, triangulate where the terrorist was based off how the phones were hitting off the towers, and then they would call us in, and we would go in and get them. On that deployment, man, I went through a lot. I had a fiance. I got her pregnant on R&R. Went back thinking that I was going to be a dad. You know, the details of what happened are unclear, but she said she had a miscarriage.
This episode of The Recovery Couch is brought to you by Greg Swartz at Remax Victory and Affiliates. Greg brings heart, hustle, and honesty to every deal. Call Greg at 937-477-8975 today and tell him The Recovery Couch sent you. Hey guys, welcome back to The Recovery Couch. This is where we deliver unapologetic, real, faith-based stories and messages covered by the blood of Jesus. This is a space where we speak from the heart. We speak without filters because Psalm 139 verse 4 reminds us that God knows our words before we ever speak them. Romans 5:8 tells us that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. That's why the Recovery Couch exists, to meet people exactly where they are. Because here, we believe when you offer someone a space to be real, you're also offering them a space to heal. I'm here with a good friend of mine today. I'm so excited for this episode. This gentleman, when I was at one of my lowest points in homelessness, offered me a place to live. Daus Hempker is a United States Army veteran. He's also the secretary of Licking County After Action Network, which is a nonprofit organization that works with elderly veterans and speaks on suicide awareness. Daus also works with Champions, which is another nonprofit organization. Feed the homeless and spread the gospel through Bible study. He's doing amazing work. He's doing kingdom work, and I'm excited to welcome him to the show today. Daus, how you doing?
Good, man. How you been?
Yeah, man. So good. So thank you so much for the brother you've been. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me, man.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to be here.
Yes, sir. So suicide awareness, man. It's a big deal to talk about suicide awareness.
Yeah, because I think men's mental health especially is kind of a frowned upon thing. I think we have it backwards here in the United States, and I think that, you know, talking about it openly and supporting each other through that could do a lot. I mean, we get that 22 a day lowered.
Tell us a little bit about your story. Where did it start and what led you into recovery?
Yeah, so I was born in Lima, Ohio. Grew up in a small country town, Ohio. You know, out there in cornfields where they make all the footballs, Wilson Football Factory. Make all the footballs for NFL. Had it wasn't a terrible childhood, but there was some issues, and so I really didn't have a whole lot of options. So I joined the military, 2006, right after I graduated high school. Did basic training, Fort Benning, Georgia, airborne school, Fort Benning, Georgia. Remember like yesterday. Got stationed over in 101st Airborne, and went to Air Sergeant school. Was doing pre-ranger, doing my thing. You know, 18 years old. I bought me a new car for the first time, so I thought I was a hot shot with a crazy interest rate, you know. But I was cool, you know, back then. So I was young and naive, you know, and it was a good time. So we got deployed to Baghdad, Iraq in '07. We were part of a unit that hunted high-value targets. So the intel community within the military apparatus had developed a list of, you know, high leadership of the terrorist organizations that we were fighting over there. And it had a Navy unit, and this was all top secret at the time. Now it is not even. I mean, the progression of them knowing that we used to track phones. We used to triangulate where the terrorist was based off how the phones were hitting off the towers, and then they would call us in, and we would go in and get them. On that deployment, man, I went through a lot. I had a fiance. I got her pregnant on R&R, and Went back thinking that I was going to be a dad, and the details of what happened are unclear. But she said she had a miscarriage, so that never happened. And we eventually, her and I would break things off. And then my grandmother, I got a Red Cross message one day. This was towards the end of deployment. I got a Red Cross message that my grandmother, who was like my best friend, man, like, because I had a pretty tumultuous childhood. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. I would just leave my house and go over there and spend the weekends with her, and we were very, very close. That was my best friend. And I got a Red Cross message, man, saying that she's on her deathbed, you know, and I'm like, okay, we're towards the end of a 13-month combat deployment. We're not even doing operations anymore. We're going out picking up barbed wire. Like, we're doing stupid stuff, bro. Like, just at the end of the deployment, mission's over. Like, we're just waiting to leave type thing. And so my request for leave to go home for 2 weeks to handle that, got approved all the way up to battalion commander, and then he denied it. Said the mission was more important. Right. So all of this happening while I'm a young man in combat for the first time, I internalized all that, and I started to get sick because I didn't have time to grieve. I didn't have time to talk. As same as military jail, wherever, men, like, I'm not pouring my heart out to dudes in combat. We're not doing that. So I internalized it, right, and then I just had to pretend like none of that happened. I couldn't process the grief, the loss, none of it. So I come back from Iraq, and we're we got orders to go to Afghanistan. So, the 101st Airborne, along with like the 82nd and the one down in Texas, the third ID, we're on constant rotation. It's 1 year on, 1 year off, 1 year on, 1 year off. So you're deploying all the time. And so we got orders to go to Afghanistan. Well, I was sick. Like I remember the first time it happened, man. I was in the DFAC, eat my meal, and something in my gut just cringed, and I threw up. And I, like, from there on out, I was having these issues where I was throwing up. I couldn't. I would eat food, I'd throw it up. Terrible, terrible pain, man. It was driving me crazy. So they put me on rear D. They're like, all right, well, you're messed up, man. Let's put you on rear D, send you over to medical and see what's going on. And I went over to Vanderbilt, and they did a workup on me. Came back saying it was functional dyspepsia, which is like a fancy term for upset stomach. And they sent that information back to my rear D chain of command. So they accused me of faking. So they flipped the script on me, dude, and they basically were like, "Oh, you just have upset stomach. You're scared to go to Afghanistan." So they ripped me off rear D. I didn't get you get 2 weeks to go home and see your family and say your goodbyes and like pack up your apartment. No, I ain't getting none of that. She ripped me right off rear D, threw me on the line, and like I went a couple of days later with them. But because of that, man, they dogged me because the guy in charge of the medical sent a letter over to my platoon sergeant and was like, hey, he's faking. And so from there on out, man, my name was tainted, and they dogged me, and I was legitimately sick. As the story progresses, you'll see it wasn't no upset stomach. So we go to Afghanistan, man. We got our unit was one of the units that was selected to be the battalion command sergeant major and battalion commander and command sergeant major's bodyguards, or like their security detachment. Then we were EOD escort, and just everything else that had to do with running the battalion commander around. So Afghanistan was a really interesting very interesting deployment, a very different theater from Iraq. Iraq is a city. They're not well equipped to fight as like the Afghanis and the Taliban are. So it was a different in the Arghandab River Valley during the Operation Dragon Strike time. So it was no one had ever really taken Pashmul from the Taliban before, so they sent the 101st and other units obviously down there to take that. So that was very interesting. A lot of people on that deployment uh, died. A lot of people. There was lot more casualties, a lot more injuries in comparison to Iraq, where our unit specifically only lost one person, and that was Doc Ellis. It was the start of Operation Dragon Strike, and you know it was early morning. We started the operation. We were moving in through. It was a village on the side of Highway 1, and come up to it was a river. Like they had dug out like some type of canal underneath this river. It was actually really fascinating to look at. It was very cool engineering, but then it came to like there. It was a graveyard with a narrow path through it, and it was a choke point. And we should have like known that this is a very dangerous, like you should just go around, like it's a, because it, like they got you all choked in there, and but we didn't, so we kept on pushing and came up to, it was like a pipe, water was underneath it, it was a pipe over it. My buddy Tyler, he's like my best friend from the military, he was standing there. Little did we know is that there was a bomb right there, right next to the tree, right there before the pipe, right there. And he at this point he's standing on it, and I'm right behind him. And he crosses over the pipe, goes to the left, pulls security, tells me to come. I'm crossing the pipe. I go to the right. I get over to the corner of this thing. I go to turn around, and I had an Afghan dude behind me carrying an RPG. I go to turn around and tell him, come on. And when I turn around and tell him, come on, I'm not sure how this this device was like set up, but for whatever reason, it didn't go off on me and Ty. It went off on the homeboy behind me, and it just uh, all I remember seeing was that man disappear, like disintegrated him. And then the rest of our squad was behind them. So we had, me and Ty had got cut off from the rest of them. There was a canal right there. So, anyways, that the dust settles. Like your ears are ringing. You're trying to like figure out. So my first instinct is to call out the Ty, because I can't see him, and I don't know if he's hit. But all I hear is somebody screaming, right? So like it's ringing. I'm trying to see. All I hear is screaming, and I call out to him. He calls back out to me. We're good. So I come down there to him and look down into the canal, man, and there's this Afghani guy down there, another one. Because our squad is still over here. Like I think they're dealing. I don't remember because I wasn't focused on that, but I think they're dealing with whatever injuries because 9 of us got wounded. So there's a whole lot of mess going on over there. And we pulled this Afghani guy out, man, and cut his shirt off, trying to help him. And like the wounds, the shrapnel wounds had cauterized as they were going through. So like he wasn't bleeding. He was like, it was like internal. Whatever is going on there is above my pay grade. I can't help him. Like if he's not bleeding, I have nothing to cut off the blood. I like even cleaning his wounds right now is just silly because we're out in the field, like you know what I mean. So like there's not a whole like, and I'm not a medic. I'm an infantry guy, so I don't have morphine, so I can't do anything for this dude. Right? He's just screaming out. So we our guys come in, we get in, get everything. All right, so it's kind of how I ended up back at the 101st. Eventually, when I got back to the 101st, they put me in what was a warrior transition unit, WTU unit at the 101st, to try and figure out, you know, what was going on with my gut. Because again, this had started in 2007 at the end of 2008 when we were in there. So when I came back, that's when that sickness started. And I spent 2 years, and you're supposed to spend 6 months in WCU. I spent 2 years of them. I went to Fort Sam Houston, Texas. I went to Vanderbilt. I went to Ohio. Like everywhere, dude. Just trying to like get different opinions, get things figured out. They were like they just eventually after 2 years they just chat like they medically retired me. Like we don't know what's going on with you. Like we in 2012 when they sent me to Fort Sam Houston, Texas in 2012, it was to perform an open abdominal surgery.
This episode of the Recovery Couch is brought to you by JB Davis at South Dayton Toyota. For integrity, service, and unbeatable deals, call JB and his team at 513-267-5225 and tell them the Recovery Couch sent you.
So they they cut me from my sternum to my belly button, pulled out, the intestine and stomach that's right there to get back to a ligament in the celiac artery. And what they were calling it was median arcuate ligament syndrome. Now it wasn't that, but this is important for the story. So like it, the first one, so usually your celiac artery, the median arcuate ligament wraps around your body like this, and your celiac artery goes down. You got three main arteries that come through your body, feed your organs, right? Celiac artery is one of them. And the median arcuate ligament usually goes above or below people's or whatever. For whatever reason, my anatomy, my celiac artery runs through my median arcuate ligament. So like they were saying, the theory was is that my celiac artery was being cut off by my median arcuate ligament, and that was the source of my vomiting and my pain and all my stuff in my gut, right? So that was their working theory. And so they went ahead and did the first open abdominal surgery. Got worse. Got exponentially worse. And it was so bad that I couldn't even take care of my dad had to quit his job while I was still in the army, bro. I had to quit his job, come down to and take care of me, and they had to have somebody else ETS me out of the army because I was not physically capable of the rest of the time. That's how sick I was. So it was bad. I spent years, dude, years. I mean, like over a decade. It was over a decade going to doctors. I had my second open abdominal surgery in 2016. This is at this time. By this time, 2016, I am prescribed opiates, but I'm also using. So this is where it starts. I I I had gotten, dude, the pain was so bad and I could not eat and like I could not sleep, and I mean the pain was, anybody who ever seen me from that time frame when they seen this, like it was like you should go to the hospital, inhumane type thing. And I had went to the emergency room over and over and over again every time this would happen because it was so chronic, and eventually got to the point where the emergency room thought I was just coming in there to get opiates when I was legitimately hurting. But like yeah, I wanted opiates, but that's because I was like so like it was just this weird vicious cycle, bro. You know what I mean? Like it may, I know what it presented to them, but like at the same time I'm like being like I'm miserable, dying. So after years of that, and doctors like dehumanizing you, like when you have something legitimately wrong and you come to them with the confidence, like, hey, these people are gonna help me, or at least try to help me, right? And they're gonna like, I can trust them. And that's not the case, So like I went through the gamut of different things with these doctors, bro, telling me that it was in my head. I was making it up, all this craziness. So I had my second open abdominal surgery in 2016, man. By this time, I had been baptized for the first time, and I remember distinctly uh, why I did it. And it was because my intentions were, in my mind, it was a transactional thing where, like, okay, I'll publicly declare that I'll follow you if you heal me conditionally. So I was given the Messiah conditions. Like, hey, I'll do this for you, but I'm gonna need you to do some things for me. And that's not how things work, bro. So needless to say, after that baptizing, I things didn't get better. 2000 and I want to say 17. It could be 18, but I want to say 2017. Again, this whole time I'm using, right, but because I'm being prescribed opiates, they have no idea. right? So like I'm shooting up by this point, but I'm also being prescribed opiates, and the pain is still barely manageable. There's still like episodes where like it's just dude, it unbearable pain. I can't even express the level of pain. But I had gotten to a point, man, where like I was gonna. I was the doctors are not getting it where it had been years, and I was just like, dude, I'm gonna blow my brains out. If I got two options, they can't fix me. They're telling me I gotta live this way, or even worse, it's in my head and I'm doing it to myself. So now I'm losing my mind, right? And I was like, dude, I'm gonna like, I don't know how many nights I sat with that pistol, dude, like ready to, like, it would, I wanted to so bad. I wanted to give up so bad. Like, dude, like, this is pointless. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was that bad. So I had two options, man. At that point in time, I was blow my brains out, end it, or I shoot up, I numb the pain, and maybe buy myself some time. Maybe something will happen, or maybe the doctors will figure something out. But in the meantime, like, I can't take the pain no more, bro. I can't, or I'm gonna kill myself. And like, so like, it was, like, people are like, well, why would you shoot up? Like, dude, you've never been put in a situation where like you like it was do or die, bro. And I had no choice but to do the very thing, like, because opiates are expensive. You buying prescriptions off the street, you're paying buku compared to fentanyl.
Yeah, and you don't know anybody an explanation about why you did anything. To be completely honest,
I know, but at the same time, bro, like, it's not it's. I know other people are in these circumstances. You know what I mean? And like, maybe shining some light on why people make the decisions that they make, because a lot of people, they have a hard time understanding. Like, if they've never experienced it, or they never, them circumstances, or been put in a position where like you've got bad choice or worse choice. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you got. People don't understand that. So it's that's why, that's how I started it. It was years and years and years of trying to address that, and doctors not making it, and then finally me transitioning, and then also in being naive, I thought that I could control it. Right. So I thought I could control that demon. So like, I'm like, like, because for the longest time, nobody knew. Bro, I was in college shooting up. I had a fiance. I hid it. Like, and I like, cause for a long time, that's how I just managed cause if I stopped, I would be so dysfunctional from the pain and the dysfunction of my internal organs at the time, that I wouldn't be able to be like, I would not be able to function as a human being. And at least shooting up, it gave me some type of functionality, at least in my mind. I thought, right, it was temporary, it was a trick, it was a trap. But so 2017 hits, my doctors finally are like, dude, we'll just put in a pain pump. And a pain pump size of a hockey puck runs a catheter underneath my skin directly into my spinal cord, and about 3/4 up the way of my spinal cord, and microdoses me with liquid Dilaudid every hour. So like, they give that to terminally ill cancer patients. So that gives you an idea of the level of chronic pain that I was dealing with every day. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm hurt. Like, it was bad, dude. And so it gets interesting here. So I have that pain pump in, still using. So I'm in a dangerous situation, dude. I've got opiates going directly into my spinal cord, and I'm shooting up.
Dilaudid at that.
So shooting up fentanyl with Dilaudid going in my spinal cord. So uh, I was still with my fiance at the time. I won't say her name, but I was still with my fiance at my ex fiance at the time, and she had went to bed, and I just felt weird, dude, like something, like this uncomfortable feeling. And I, at the time, like, I was not my walk was not the way it is now, obviously, but I had something was coming over me, right? So it I was sitting down on the floor, in my front room, and I just was this just uncomfortable feeling. And then I got what I can only explain as a download from God, where it was like I didn't put that thing in you. It wasn't an audible voice. Like I didn't hear someone say this, but it was like I didn't know, and then I knew. And it would like no, the Holy Spirit came over me for a minute, and I didn't know, and then I knew, and it was, I put that thing in you, take it out. And I was like, as much after years and years, like it takes a long time to get a pain point, like because you got to have documented long-term non-effective other treatments before you ever get to that level, right? So to get one is hard. And so like you're telling, and I had not had this thing 6 months, dude. And I'm like, what do you mean? You want me to take this, the one thing that's helping my pain, you want me to take it out? And like, dude, I swear, I tried to tell my ex fiance, tried to tell her parents. Everybody thought like I need to go to mental health. Thought I was crazy. Thought I was so crazy, dude. And I thought, like, to be honest with you, I mean, that was one of my very first real spiritual experiences where like it was a real profound thing, and I didn't know how to interpret it. I didn't know how to, like, I wasn't sure if I was crazy, dude. Like, but it was so powerful and so moving that I knew that I had to. I knew that was God. I knew it was a Holy Spirit God moment where He was like, "Hey, man, I'm talking to you. I need your attention. I need you to do this." And so I told everyone around me, even my own dad called me dumb, man. And everyone around me called me like crazy. Like, what are you doing taking that out? So I went to my doctor's like, I need to take it out. So he's like, I'm going to try and go without it. I need you to take it out. So he's like, I respect it. He's like, he took it out. It didn't get better after that. Just like, there's a long, it actually got a lot worse. So, because that was taken out, I would I was it it increased on the opiate side, shooting up side, because I had lost what little bit of pain that was taken away, and I was not ready to fully commit to that walk of walking away from all that, and so I went further into shooting up because you almost get addicted in that situation, man. I was addicted to the relief from the pain, the relief to be able to eat something and not hurt, the relief to go to sleep and actually sleep a little bit. I was exhausted, dude. So I was addicted to the substance, of course, but I was also very addicted to the relief that it gave me in that circumstance. Um, so the dangerous part about this, bro, is that most addicts don't have money. You know what I mean? That's why they be out there stealing or grinding or hustling or doing their thing, right? Because they ain't got no money. That's not the case with me, right? I have a retirement pension that comes in every month, so it was almost as if it enabled this habit. You know what I mean? Like it fueled, because I knew I was getting paid. I knew I had money, and dude, it was, my drug dealer would drive from the hood in Linden and Columbus all the way out to Tascala and drop me off stuff because they knew that was a paycheck like coming every, you know what I'm saying? So like they don't have clients like that. You know what I mean? They got crackhead, like people that are really struggling to make it. Yep. Right. So like when they get a client like that, they'll do a little extra for you because they want that money coming in. And that's how it was, dude. And that went on for a little while, and that's how I ended up. It's just crazy how it progressed, man. Somehow, when you're in that that drugged up stupor, and you're around people like that, I found myself wanting this. I know this is so odd to say, bro. And some people might misinterpret it, but the people in those crack houses were the only human interaction I had, bro. And so I would rather accept, like, I was so lonely and so broken and abandoned by the people in my life that should have been there, and everyone else, that I would rather just sit here in a crack house with crackheads, with other people that are struggling, and I was a crackhead too. I'm not saying that, like, you know what I mean? Any drug that was in there, I was doing on top of the fentanyl and stuff. So I'm not saying crackhead in a bad way. Like, I was in there. doing that. But that it was such a state of so broken and lonely, bro, that I would that almost gave me relief being around people like that. You know what I mean? I was just to and that desire to have interaction and placing me in that stuff put me in a lot of bad situations in the hood, bro. Like I had to fight one night. I had to fight my way out of the. There was three dudes and they tried to rape me.
Wow, what an unbelievable testimony by Daus, going from hunting high leader terrorists in the United States Army to addiction, and his courage and his bravery and his honesty to be able to tell the truth about where he struggled and how God has redeemed him. You don't want to miss part 2 of this unbelievable story, and we will release that next Monday. So make sure you tune back in. In the meantime, go and check out all of our socials. Check out the book, Step 4 Journey Through Addiction. It's available at all book retailers. You can also get it if you go to my website, www.recoverycouch.com. And remember, we have a book signing coming up on May 9th. It's a Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. That's at Barnes & Noble in Beaver Creek, Ohio. I'd love to see you out there, have a meet and greet, sign a book, emboss your book, and it'll be a fun time. So remember, you always have a seat right here on the Recovery Couch.